Friday, pre-Friday, a.k.a. Thursday. What's going on with you? Anything exciting? Anything fun? It's been rather boring. I tried playing some Xbox last night. I shouldn't even say tried. Well, I think last night I ended up just... What did I do last night? My mind's so forgetful now, it absolutely sucks. I don't think I played video games last night. I would have remembered doing so. I think I just hung out, ate my dinner, talked to my friends on Discord, laid in bed because I was just so brain dead after the workday yesterday. Middle of the day yesterday, I just hit a massive wall. And I was sitting here going, what do I need to do? Oh, yeah. And I was moving like one of the sloths at the DMV in Zootopia. That's sometimes how it goes. Some mornings I'm real productive. The whole day stays that way. And then other days like yesterday, just suck. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly I want to get my parents for Christmas. My mom is a very confusing person to try to shop for, but she'll appreciate really anything. My dad's very picky. I saw this denim jacket that has AC/DC patches all over it, something that I would rock. And I was thinking, do I want to spend the $50 on that and get that sent over to my dad? He deserves it, for sure. But do I have the $50? That was my first question. The second question is, would he wear it? So I called my mom, asked her, I'm like, hey, do you think Dad would appreciate a denim jacket covered in AC/DC patches? And she essentially said no, because he dresses like an old man. And he pretty much wears just black, brown, or gray shirts. He's cold all year long. He's one of those dudes that could be 80 degrees outside, has the house with the AC on, goes, oh, it's a little chilly in here. Then go outside. Go be in the heat. I never get cold. But he's also rail thin, and I'm like double his weight now. He's like I think he might be 160. Yeah. He's 160. I'm around 320. So I am double his weight. Yikes. So I'll be hitting the gym tonight and not playing video games. I'll just walk on the treadmill till I need to go to bed. I was really glad to see that people were in favor of the classics being played here on KBEAR. Of course, with any band, any song, no matter who it is, people are not going to like it. You can't please everybody. This is not their specific Spotify playlist. We're trying to appeal to the masses here. But every single time a classic comes on, I'm like, man, that really feels out of place. So I asked the question in the KBEAR 101 Idaho Rock and Metal group yesterday, do you like the classics being played here on KBEAR? And a majority of people said yes. Only a select amount said no. And I mean, the classics are the classics for a reason. People enjoy them every single time you go to a concert. Metalheads especially, they always pretend to hate everything except for their favorite band that has 3 monthly listeners on Spotify. But then the band decides to play Backstreet Boys before they come out on stage. Next thing you know, the whole venue singing along to the song. They'll even play bands like Nickelback. Everyone's singing along. Everyone secretly enjoys artists they don't want to tell you. That's 100% for a fact. I can guarantee a lot of those people that are extra loud on Facebook that have expressed how much they hate Taylor Swift, I can guarantee you they've never heard a song from her. And they just want to say Taylor Swift because she's not rock or metal and they want to appear tough. Any single time I ask a question like, what song do you hate the most? Anything by Taylor Swift. Sure, have you actually sat down and listened to a lot of her tracks? I'm just saying. That's what all I had to say for this break. Let's move on here. Viktor, as the Pocatello guy, born and raised, how dare you allow Pocatello Slander in the KBEAR group?
Who is slandering my hometown?
A lot of people in the comment section. So Red Ed posted that meme that I told you about when we were off the air during the noon hour of Madness and Mayhem powered by Jalisco's, where it shows Meg Griffin as Blackfoot. And she's saying, you guys always act like you're better than me. And then it shows Pocatello, Rexburg, Idaho Falls. Yeah. And Keith right there at the top. Pocatello's by far the worst.
What? Where does Keith live?
Let's find out here.
Yeah, let's...
lives in Pocatello.
Okay, all right. If you're living in Pocatello, that's fair. If you got Idaho Falls and Rexburg people shaming Pokey, that's where I start to have issues.
But then Eldon decided to fix the meme, and he wrote Blackfoot as Meg, but then dumpster behind McDonald's, sanitation department, Taco Bell toilet as the other one. But let's find out, is Eldon living in Pocatello? Oh, let's see. We have to click on the profile.
You said he changed it, so he changed it to Pocatello or changed it to Blackfoot and then had all the other things.
Had Blackfoot and had all the other things.
Okay, so he was really trashing Blackfoot.
Yeah, he was really, really trashing Blackfoot.
And Blackfoot ain't bad, man. Come on, it's the home of the Eastern Idaho State Fair. It's a great time. I've been to some good shows in Blackfoot. Used to play shows at Tony's Billiards. It was a good time in Blackfoot.
Joe wrote, Pocatello's not better than Blackfoot, just bigger. I've lived in Pocatello for 30 years. In the past, I've frequently worked in Blackfoot. I'm still a regular at, was it Roops? Is that
Roops,
how you say?
yeah.
Kessler's, Stillwater's.
Yeah, I worked in Blackfoot. Now, I would go as far as I'm not going to pick any city in East Idaho as being the best because they all have certain things about them that are good, that are better than others.
Sure.
Like Pocatello, the outdoors, better than any city in East Idaho. You know, you can go right up into the mountains in Pocatello. You don't have to drive way out of town like you would in Pocatello or Rexburg.
What about okay, you're talking about like convenience. I was going to say like Swan Valley area.
Okay, in Swan Valley, that's like, barely a town.
Right.
No offense, Swan Valley. Swan Valley is beautiful and one of my favorite places. But
I don't have my button.
You know what
here we go.
what they don't have in Swan Valley?
What do they
Pretty
have?
much anything. They have beautiful nature, but if you want to get yourself McDonald's, no.
I was going to hit the shout out to Swan Valley.
Yeah. If you want square ice cream, they've got you hooked up.
Square ice cream.
Yeah, square ice cream. If you want a square ice cream cone, you go to Swan Valley. If you want to see a waterfall, you go to Swan Valley. But, if you want to, well, I was going to say, if you want to go in the mountains, go to Swan Valley. But again, you can do that in Pokey. But what if you want to go to the movie theater? You don't go to Swan Valley. All right, they don't have one. Pocatello has the biggest movie theater screen in East Idaho as well.
Wow, what a flex. Let me hit the air horn for that
They
one,
got
too.
the Big D theater. It's like an IMAX-style theater. You know what Idaho Falls doesn't have? That's right. So, there's good things about each city in East Idaho. Like, if you hate alcohol, Rexburg's great. They don't have very much of it there. And also they have lots of young people in Rexburg.
Well, Pocatello has a few young people thanks to ISU.
Pocatello has lots of young people, too. Trying to be fair to Rexburg here, Peaches.
Rexburg's fun if you want more of the no meth. I'm just messing.
Do you like soda?
Do you like soda?
You like a mixed soda with some flavoring in it? Rexburg got a lot of that going on. Idaho Falls has, the river. There's a river that goes through. Pocatello's river, not as nice as the Snake. The Portneuf, it's nice, but it's not the Snake. So
I think the downtown area of Pocatello is a whole lot better than the one here.
I agree. I like wandering downtown Pocatello better than downtown Idaho Falls. I like and I shouldn't say this because I haven't gone out to the bars for years, but I always did like the bars in Pocatello better. But I don't know. There's a lot of bars now open in both cities that I've never even been in. So
places have changed in the past couple of years, past year, even just this year.
It's very different in downtown Pokey and downtown Idaho Falls. So I don't know, but I just have always found it funny when Idaho Falls will trash Pokey, Pokey will trash Idaho Falls. Both Pokey and Idaho Falls will trash Rexburg.
I can tell you, though, Idaho Falls has the much better mall. The Pocatello Mall is so depressing to me.
I think for shopping, well, okay, for the mall. But I think shopping in general, Idaho Falls, there's some more options.
Way more options.
But, to trash on any city in that mix from another city, they're all not that very far apart, okay?
As a guy who grew up in Southern California, the royalty that came to the area, they all are the
Peaches,
same.
That's why I just look at where we're at as East Idaho. We're all one big place. We need to work together.
I've seen more entertainment on Main Street, Huntington Beach, than all the cities combined here.
Well, that's because you got all kinds of.
But that's also because there's millions upon millions of people.
Speaking of meth, let's go to the California coast. You ever been to Venice?
The further south you go, it's nicer. But as soon as you start getting towards L.A. and a little bit past it, that's where you get, needles in the sand. Mommy, I found a syringe.
Yeah. See, you're not going to have that happen around here.
Well,
it's.
I'm not going to say what I want to say.
Yeah.
So
anyway, be nice to one another. No city in East Idaho is better than any other. They're all good in ways, and they all suck in ways.
Peaches Pit Party on KBEAR 101, Idaho's only rock station. I like to point out dumb TikTok trends as well as the fun ones. And there's one now out there making the rounds that goes all about, it's basically amping up your potluck dinner. They're calling it Uber Eats Roulette. Each person at the potluck orders a specific dollar amount of food without revealing their choice until it arrives. Everyone spends $30 to $40, orders enough food for 2 to 3 people, all order the same time, and then put the phones down. People don't discuss or disclose what they ordered. It just shows up. I like how it said, could we wind up with 8 pizzas? Sure. But that's the fun part of it. I think that'd be fun. I feel like, though, I would have that one friend that would try trolling the group and getting some obscure dish that only he likes. Oh, look, the escargot is here type of thing. I wouldn't even want to order my favorite food just because other people would go towards it. Like if I ordered pot stickers, I love those things. I would eat them all. For sure. I wouldn't want to touch anybody else's food. Something decently cool on TikTok. I don't really go on TikTok all that much. I'll just post our noon hour of madness and mayhem clips powered by Jalisco's and then get off of that and go to Instagram Reels. And this right here is your Shot Clock Sports Update. In a very surprising twist, Bill Belichick has agreed to be the next head coach at the University of North Carolina. Belichick, who won 6 Super Bowl rings as a head coach in the NFL and 2 more rings as an assistant coach, has never been a college coach. And now he'll join the college ranks with a goal he mentioned earlier this week to build an NFL program at the college level. And I'm sure Bill Belichick will be the guy to do it. The NFL made history yesterday by announcing plans to play its first regular season game in Berlin next year. The game will be played at the iconic Olympic Stadium. The NFL has already seen success with games in Munich and Frankfurt since 2022 and are now going to give things a try in Berlin to continue growing Germany as a market for American football. It did seem like a fun time over there compared to here. Everybody was dressed up. Everybody was into it. Seemed pretty cool. Saudi Arabia scored big yesterday as they were officially awarded the 2034 World Cup. It's a huge deal, of course, for the country. So much money pouring in, so much attention, but there was also immediate outrage and pushback because Saudi Arabia has a terrible human rights reputation. A joint statement from 21 organizations, including labor unions and Amnesty International, called the move a moment of great danger for human rights. They put FIFA on blast because workers will be needed to build a bunch of World Cup facilities, and there's a great risk that workers could be exploited, even die under the current laws of Saudi Arabia. Didn't that happen at the previous World Cup? I remember they were trying to exploit all these people just to have them work long hours, low pay, maybe even no pay, just worked them to death. I myself hate soccer and hate this whole World Cup event. I usually turn it off any single time it pops up on my TV. Just don't really care for soccer at all, but that's big. 2034, Saudi Arabia getting the World Cup. There you go. That does it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on KBEAR 101. I can barely work an Excel sheet. I've tried many times to learn different shortcuts and all of that. It's very confusing. There's so many things you have to know in this industry, or overall, I should say. Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, those are almost necessary to know for any job out there. But in the world of radio, you also have to know Photoshop, Premiere, video editing, a whole bunch of stuff, right? I'm reading here about this Canadian man who won the Microsoft Excel World Championships, which do exist, by the way. Every single time the ESPN, the Ocho comes back around, that airs on that channel. This financial modeling director, Michael Jarman, defeated 11 finalists to become the Microsoft Excel World Champion. He went home from Las Vegas with $5,000 and a championship belt, which, that's not a championship belt you should really brag about. You're great at Excel. Wasn't Viktor looking at an Excel sheet at one point from some guy who was in the Microsoft Excel World Championships, and there was like a full-on game that you could play on the thing. People are far too good at a wide variety of things. Oh, man, I could not imagine being that good at Microsoft Excel. Imagine having that in your resume like, hey, I have Microsoft Excel on here. I'm different. I'm like the LeBron James of Microsoft Excel. Well, we can't ignore Spotify Wrapped being a big thing this time of year. Everyone posting their most played songs, their top favorite artists, how they're in the 0.05% of top listeners when it comes to listening to specific bands and so on and so forth. Some people have actually admitted to faking their Spotify Wrapped results to make it look cooler. This New Jersey governor candidate admitted to faking his stats to show only Bruce Springsteen. He even captioned the post on Twitter on Friday, December 6th. No surprises here. Fun fact, my first ever concert was at Meadowlands to go see the boss, Bruce Springsteen. But the post appeared to be doctored. It was pretty obvious. People were pointing out the font wasn't at all the same. So I guess some political reporter from NewJersey.com asked him if he, if his Spotify, or asked him if he faked his Spotify Wrapped. And yeah, he finally admitted to that. And he said, this would be my Spotify Wrapped if I didn't share my account with 12 and 15-year-old kids. While it's Springsteen all day for me, don't get me wrong, I still love listening to Taylor Swift. That's the go-to excuse now, is that you blame the kids. My friends and I last night, we were comparing your top songs from 2017 to now, and a good amount of them are dads. And they're like, oh, that was my son. Or they're also blaming their wives, too. They're like, but my wife is the reason why I have Brian McKnight in my top artists, okay? That wasn't me. I was looking at some stats here. This year, AAA predicts 119.3 million people will be traveling more than 50 miles starting from December 21st to January 1st. That's 3 million people more than last year. It feels like this number grows every single year I talk about it. Hey, next year, 126 million people, 130, 140. It's going to suck trying to travel around that time of the year. Luckily enough, I'm not going anywhere for Christmas. I'm staying right at my apartment. Post January 1st, I'm thinking about just taking some time off, going back home for a week, go see the family and all that, go see the friends I haven't seen since July, take a nice week-long break, do something, and then go back out to California in April for the AC/DC concert at the Rose Bowl. But, yeah, around the Christmas time, I know not to travel. At this point, or at some point, I do really just want to drive down instead of flying. The airport here would not be too bad. It's going back to Southern California. The John Wayne Airport isn't all that bad compared to LAX. I try my best to avoid LAX as much as possible. I always talk about this. If you're wanting to head towards Atlanta, Georgia, that seems to be the busiest airport out of all the airports for Christmas. Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport at number 2. Denver International Airport at number 3. Man, that would suck to live in one of those areas. Try being on the radio in any one of those cities. You're a big market personality. But, I mean, trying to travel back home, if I were to be out there, I was actually planning on moving to Dallas in 2020. I was very close. Talk about that story all the time, how I was about to apply for an apartment in Dallas because I just wanted out of California. And then Jade literally emailed me about the opening here right as I was about to apply. And lo and behold, I'm here now, thankfully. Oh, boy. I don't know if it's just because I'm normally a negative person, but I just read here that there are going to be Wicked sing-along screenings in the movie theaters across the country. Over 1,000 theaters around the world will begin showing Wicked where you can sing along. I'm hoping that these theaters are soundproof. I don't believe they are, because sometimes when I'm watching a movie at the movie theater, you'll hear an explosion or something else that's happening on another movie that's close by. I couldn't imagine trying to watch a movie like The Substance that's now in theaters and hearing a whole bunch of people screaming along to Wicked songs. I, for one, I love going to the movies. I think going to the movie theater is much better than just sitting at home, watching it in your living room. I get it if you don't want to spend the money, but I mean, I used to be that guy that would have to like turn my movie way down because my mom would be like, that's so loud. No matter what volume it was at, my mom would be annoyed by the sound. So it was always a great escape to go to the movie theater and go watch a movie that was extra loud in the movies. But there better be no Wicked sing-along screenings around here. That's the last thing I want to do is go to the movies and hear a bunch of those songs next door. No, thank you. No, thank you. Queen Elizabeth spent 70 years sitting on the throne. Ironically, it's a throne at a school named in her honor that has caused classes to be canceled for 2 days. Queen Elizabeth Public School in, what is this, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario? Is that what it is? It has been closed this week because the toilets have all overflowed, creating this horrible mess. Now, school was in session on Tuesday when the backup suddenly occurred. Students had to be evacuated. A plumbing crew was called in to fix the problem, but then it happened again, and school was canceled the following day. It's unclear when the building will reopen. I wish there was some sort of explanation like this royal flush here, as to why Idaho Falls has been on and off smelling horrible. Now, I was told it was the slaughterhouse nearby, but I could be way wrong. That could just be some random person online spewing, straight up ignorance, which is what typically happens on Facebook. But I would love to know as to why Idaho Falls has been smelling like complete, number 2. Here I was wondering why exactly people are flying on airplanes naked. Well, that's what the new trend's called. Flying naked, the new travel hack, quote unquote hack. Someone saying, I am crazy, but I am free. Well, turns out they're not going naked on the airplane. They're just flying without any baggage whatsoever. That's what these travel TikTokers are doing. They're just going around, no luggage, buying clothes wherever they land, and I guess doing it that way. Or at least that's what I think. I don't know. This whole article is like 10 pages long. I just read the headline, Flying Naked, the newest travel hack, and went, that's interesting. Sure enough, it's not that way, because I think you would get in massive trouble if you actually decided to fly completely naked. Public indecency, whole bunch of charges there. What's going on with Bad Omens? Are they just touring now and not putting out anything new? I know for a short while there, they were releasing teasers, or at least that's what I thought it was for new music, but I think those teasers were just for the Australian tour, which is barely a tour, just 3 stops with Poppy. I'm wondering if they're just going to wait for new music to come out next year, because The Death of Peace of Mind, I think, came out in 2022. One of the best albums, in my opinion. I cannot wait for more Bad Omens music. I love those guys. I think they're great. It was awesome having them back in the studio here back in 2022. And for some reason on Twitter, not that long ago, someone reshared the picture of them in our studio, expressing how much they liked how Noah and Jolly looked so happy in the photo. The Bad Omens fans are completely weird. We've addressed that many times on the air. There are people obsessed with that band. That's the reason why Noah Sebastian's no longer on social media. The people drove him away. I would do the same thing if I was in his position, seeing people post relentlessly about who knows what, coming up with like fan fiction and all that. It'd be creepy. Be very, very creepy. I think people were even stalking the band at one point. Bad Omens and Sleep Token, as Viktor has said many times on the air, they both have the worst fan bases in the entirety of rock and metal. I think Spirit Box fans might be a close third, but not anywhere close to Bad Omens or Sleep Token. It's now that time for To Peach the Roan. I was scrolling Reddit yesterday as I was just laying in bed talking to my friends on Discord. Saw this one in r/metalcore, not even Ask Reddit. r/metalcore had this question, and I thought, you know what, this would be a fun one, just to see why exactly people have walked out of concerts before. Have you ever walked out of any concerts? I have left quite a few just because if it was on a weeknight, I have work the next morning, can't stay the entire time, don't want to, not sleep at all that night. So I will just leave early, or maybe even some Salt Lake City shows I've left early just to get that 3-hour drive out of the way, beat the traffic and all that. It's easier that way than to stay the entire time, have to battle the slow crowd getting out of the venue. But this question is more so geared at, have you ever just walked out of any concert or concerts just because, you didn't like the band, or a wide variety of reasons? I did like Sarah's answer the most. She was honest. She was like, yeah, I left Ice Nine Kills early, not because of anything with the band. It's just my feet hurt and it was past my bedtime. Talked about the story on the Noon Hour of Madness and Mayhem powered by Jalisco's about my dad and my mom went back when they saw the Steve Miller Band. and the Steve Miller Band, all they would do on stage is just say, hey, we wrote the song with so-and-so, and tell all these boring stories, and then they would just casually stand there and play the songs. There wasn't any real show about it. It was just kind of annoying to them, so they ended up leaving early. Let's scroll down here. I mean, there are some people who have said, I left early just because I only want to go for the opener, which I always, talk against. If you pay money for a ticket and you go for part of the show, that's ridiculous. Steve said, I left Primus early, did not enjoy the opener one, but pushed through to hear Coheed, whomever is why I bought the tickets. Okay, Primus was such a mood shift, and to me, boring, so I left. Primus was fun. I find their music overall not my style when I listen to them, but seeing them live, completely different. It was a fun little party in there, really. That's about it for some of these Facebook comments. We'll get into more here soon, I guess, if nobody calls in. 208-535-1015. Have you ever walked out of any concerts? Let me know. KBEAR, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, boss?
Hey, Stuart, what's up with you, man?
Oh, not much. I just had an answer for your peach their own.
Yeah, have you ever walked out of any concert before?
Well, I've walked out of a couple. Most of them, were the old, it's getting late, my feet hurt, back hurt. But I did walk out of the Blues Travelers at the Mini Dome at ISU.
Really?
The acoustics were horrible. All that was coming through was the high end, twangy part. There was no low end at all, and it was just piercing my brain. I had to get out of there.
Yikes! I wonder why that's the reason why they don't have any shows anymore, or I don't know.
That's a combination. I think it's a combination of that, and they've found people just to be too rowdy, and they tend to trash the place.
People do suck. KBEAR, have you ever walked out of any concert before?
Yes, I have.
Which one?
It was supposed to be Electric Six and Super Suckers, but Electric Six had canceled 2 months before, and nobody had updated anything. The ticket office didn't say anything about it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I'd spent $400 on tickets and drove down to Salt Lake to see a show that never happened.
I should have just had this question be, have you ever walked out of the show and you go, yes? I'm like, okay, thank you. And I just hang the phone up and that's the end of the conversation.
That would be good.
I did see a lady named Valerie said, yeah, she walked out of a Nothing More show in Denver. They were shooting a video, kept stopping, starting, and redoing one song. And she wrote, I went for a concert, not a photo shoot. I paid a lot for that ticket to end up with that BS, is what she wrote.
Yeah, I feel that.
I mean,
I left a Warped Tour 1 year early just because it was, middle of August in Boise, and so it was 100 million degrees.
Yeah.
And I already saw Pennywise play, so
you're like, good enough for me.
That's all I cared about.
Yeah.
Yep. That's all I cared about.
KBEAR, what's going on?
Hey, not much.
Here to answer today's To Peach Their Own question.
Heck yeah.
Have you ever walked out of any concert?
Yeah, I had some family invite me to go to Jackson Hole for a Zach Brown concert. The whole concert was being sponsored by Budweiser, and the whole place reeked of marijuana.
Oh.
Horrible smell. And not just it smells and it's stinky. No, it was you could not breathe in it.
Like downtown LA right there by Skid Row, just taking big whiffs.
So bad. And there were so many people that were so beyond drunk before Zach Brown even got on.
Yeah.
It was just a mess. So we left way early because there was horrible traffic, tons of people drunk driving. So it was pretty sketchy. So we left really early on that one.
Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoy the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.